All right, welcome everybody to the Saturday night edition. Excuse me. So, I was going to just take it easy tonight, but as it turns out, there are a couple of things that probably should be addressed as far as music news go. Not music, as far as gaming news goes, that I feel that should be passed on to everybody. And one of those, so we got two stories really to go over. One is some updated drama with Ubisoft, yet again, and the other one is related to the Xbox CEO stepping down from his position. And so, with that, let's go ahead and get started. The question is, do we start with Ubisoft or do we start, with Xbox? That is the question. And I am debating here as to which we do. Okay. Maybe we start off. Well, we start off with getting rid of AI mod or robots popping into my chat, which handled. Excellent. All right. So I've got the Ubisoft stuff pulled up. Why don't we start there? Let me get comfy. All right. Do a quick thinking about the intro. Those of you just tuning in, I did put out the video for Marathon, or I did post the Marathon video today from yesterday's stream, so go ahead and check that out. All right, let's see here. Thinking of an intro. Oh, I gotta change my thing here before I do that. There we go. Okay. Changed. I was in the wrong category. All right. Let's pull up this tab here. All right, and here we go. Oh. Ubisoft is in absolute freefall. Stocks have fallen about 95% over the last year. There were 6 games canceled recently, as you all know, and there are a bunch of employees on strikes. There are a lot of layoffs have been going on, and Ubisoft recently, as you all know, have forced their employees to return to office to do the work. And as you all know, the CEO, Yves Guillemot, has just appointed, he's in the middle of it, and he's just appointed his own son, Charlie, to run the company's biggest moneymakers, that being Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. People lately have been screaming that there is a bout of nepotism going on because of this. People are demanding that the current CEO resign. He is a 13-year veteran. Dev publicly has criticized the hiring of the CEO's son, and he was promptly fired days later. Today we're going to dive a little more into it and check out what's been going on. So if you would like to see more of the Ubisoft drama that's going on, or things that are just like it, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button as well. Make sure you turn on the notifications, and we'll jump further into it. So right now we're going to start here with the article. The Ubisoft CEO responds to the nepotism accusations after he appoints his son. Ubisoft has been a family-owned business has been a family business since its origination. And that trend continues today with the naming of the CEO's son as the co-head of the newly formed Tencent-backed Vantage Studio. And I went over this in my previous videos as well, as that being the only named house that the reorganization has put out. Everything else has been numbered. The elder Guillemot said that Ubisoft was created as a family company, and is this family-oriented structure that he believes is essential to the company today and into the future. This perspective guides our decisions and helps us build franchises, teams, and strategies that endures for decades, he said. Guillemot went on to say that Charlie and the other Vantage co-CEO, Christopher Daranis, are the right leaders to run the studio. They bring complementary strengths and experience that make them well suited for the role. Their appointment was based on their skills, track record, and fit for the role, Guillemot said. Months ago, Variety asked Charlie about the nepotism concerns, and he said he completely understands why some would have strong feelings about this, but maintained that he was the right person for the job. Yes, I am Yves' son. That is not something I hide from, but my appointment isn't only about family ties. It's about what Ubisoft needs at this moment, he said at the time. What Ubisoft actually needs are good games, and to stop, ruining everything that they're currently working on. Charlie will be in charge of things like the vision direction, content development, and marketing of Ubisoft's three main franchises, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry going forward, while Daranis will oversee production, co-development, and technology. Charlie Guillemot got his start in gaming at Owlent in 2014, and Ubisoft later acquired the horse simulation game developer. He left Ubisoft in 2021 before rejoining the company in 2025, leading up to his promotion to co-CEO of Vantage. As for Daranis, he was co-founder of Ubisoft Montreal in 1997 and was most recently the managing director for Ubisoft North American operations. Looking ahead, Charlie said he expects generative AI and cloud technology to revolutionize game development and player experiences. Sometimes that means shorter content, speaking to new generations that consume content in a different way. I'm convinced the industry will face new tech disruptions we can't fully predict yet, and Ubisoft intends to play an active role in shaping that future, he said. His comment about generative AI is likely to cause a stir given ongoing serious concerns expressed by developers about the role of generative AI in game development and potential job losses. Those are other topics that I've covered in previous videos as well, specifically the Google Project Genie video. A GDC study found that more developers than ever believe generative AI is hurting the games industry, but is not surprised to hear Ubisoft want to do more with AI, as company has been a big believer in generative AI for years already. And also they've been doing a lot of downsizing as well. Okay. So... So with all that going on, Ubisoft is currently fighting for survival, as we've just talked about. They've got the massive stock losses that I've shown at the beginning. They have a bunch of layoffs going on as well, and they're doing a whole lot of restructuring. And that announcement was also made with the revelation that Tencent was backing one of their design houses to the tune of 1.16 billion euros. Also, 6 games were canceled recently. Among those was the Prince of Persia remake, which I mentioned in previous videos. And then there was the full work week return to office mandate for everyone, and that's the one that everybody seems to be going against right now. And I cannot believe I did this whole thing here. Okay, so we're going to scrap that whole thing. I do apologize for that. I was going to make that a video. I'll just have to shoot that later. I can't believe I didn't change the scene. But anyway, let me show you the stock ticker. So there's that. It's down to about 93 cents. And I read the article already. I feel like I just wasted a whole bunch of time doing that. All right. Anyway, so Ubisoft, it's a family-run business, as I mentioned earlier. And the CEO's son is taking over. Let's see what else we got going on with them. So here's a post on X by PC Gamer where the CEO confirms a new Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games are coming, but he also denied that his son was in charge, or denies that his son in charge of them would have been nepotism. I think if you're trying to save a project or product that your company is creating, and one of the things you do to try to save it is hire your son, that is the definition of nepotism. Let's see what else we got here. And back in January, I made the video or announced those closures and restructurings. I'm going through my notes here real quick. We got July of 2025, Tencent-backed subsidiary worth billions, solely responsible for the 3 flagship franchises. And now they're announcing 2 co-CEOs, which are here in the Variety magazine, or Variety article, which would be Christophe Darnez and Charlie Guillemot. Okay. Still reading through my notes. I'm not really seeing a whole lot more than that. There's some background information that I was able to find. But that doesn't really apply to the video that we're kind of going over right now. People have been calling him a nepo baby because of his father. Let's see. There have not been very good reactions to all of it. Every every gaming magazine outlet has led with things like there being nepotism accusations, and Yves has been fighting off the questions or ignoring them completely, calling it and some of the unions were calling it a lack of diversity at the top, which I'm guessing is because it's all one family. And the board is calling for Yves to step down. Man, I was really starting on fire till I realized that the whole thing was in the wrong view. All right. The question is, do I start over again or not? I suppose I could, since nobody's actually watching. Okay. Alright, so I kind of butchered that, and I'll do that video again offline. There's more of the Ubisoft stuff. I really only had these two things, and then get into some games. I am not feeling the greatest, but I felt like this information at least had to get out, at least in some way. Let's see here. All right, I think that might be a good one to start at. Okay. Okay, let's get started with the Microsoft ones, and then maybe I'll come back and retry the. No, you know what? I'm not even going to retry it. I'll just do the Ubisoft stuff offline. Okay. After 38 years at Microsoft and more than a decade as the face of Xbox, Phil Spencer has officially announced his retirement. This is the man who has literally saved Xbox from the Xbox One disaster a few years ago. He's also the creator of Game Pass that everybody seems to be using. This is the guy who spent $76.5 billion turning Microsoft into one of the biggest gaming companies on the planet. And now a complete leadership change has just happened. All right, I'm going to cut that out. Into the biggest company on the planet, but now a complete leadership earthquake. Just 2 days ago, on February 20th, 2026, a new CEO with zero gaming experience, Sarah Bond, is also stepping away, and Matt Booty was promoted. Is Xbox about to go multi-platform forever and forget consoles? That is actually one of the questions that I've been seeing pop up recently. Was the whole Game Pass thing and the future of Xbox seems to have been tied to that. So let's see what kinds of things we're getting into now with the breakdown of Xbox and the current Xbox leadership, with the current CEO leaving and the president, also the person long considered to take over, is also leaving at the same time. The person who's taking over is Asha Sharma, and let's try to dig into more of the story here. Let's see. Start reading into the article. The CEO, Phil Spencer, is retiring, and Xbox Sarah Bond is stepping away, as resigned as well. The president of Microsoft's Core AI product, Asha Sharma, will now also work in Spencer's former position as the new Microsoft Gaming CEO. As part of this massive shakeup, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty has also been promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma within Microsoft Gaming. Sharma joined Microsoft in 2024 as part of the company's AI and software development team and worked as a Chief Operating Officer of Instacart as the Vice President of Product at Meta prior to that. It's important to note that Microsoft has an AI division and Core AI division. The former is more focused on AI research and development, while the latter is an AI-first platform for tools, app stacks, and more. As the new Microsoft Gaming CEO, Sharma will oversee a vast array of studios and games ranging from Activision's Call of Duty umbrella, Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch and World of Warcraft and Diablo teams, King's Mobile, Candy Crush Empire, Mojang, and that team's ongoing work on Minecraft, and of course the core Xbox Game Studios, which includes Fable and Forza Horizon, developer Playground Games, Halo Campaign Evolved, Halo Studios Obsidian Entertainment, which launched The Outer Worlds 2 last October, and others as well. And we all know The Outer Worlds did not do well when it launched. Spencer's departure comes after serving as the head of Xbox and later Microsoft Gaming CEO for more than a decade, joining the team in 2014, though he had worked at Microsoft since 1988. His career there as an intern, Spencer joined at a tense time for Xbox in 2014, roughly 5 months after Microsoft released the Xbox One, which by all accounts launched in a rough state due to the non-optional inclusion of a refreshed Kinect, an emphasis on home and TV entertainment over gaming, and DRM-related controversies before the console's release. Xbox reversed course on its DRM requirements prior to the launch of the Xbox One. Alright, and then this just goes more and more into his background. Let's see what the email to the Microsoft staff from the incoming CEO is. Today, I begin my role as CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I feel two things at once, humility and urgency. Humility because this team has built something extraordinary over decades. Urgency because gaming in a period of rapid change, and we need to move with clarity and conviction. I am stepping into work shaped by generations of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more who create worlds that have brought joy and deep personal meaning to hundreds of millions of players. The level of craft here is exceptional, and it is amplified by Xbox, which was founded in the belief that the power of games connect people and push the industry forward. Thank you to Phil for his leadership and every studio, platform, and operations team that built this foundation. We are stewards of some of the most loved stories and characters in entertainment, and bring players and creators together around the fun and community of gaming in entirely new ways. My first job is simple. Understand what makes this work and protect it. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. Second, the return of Xbox. And third, the future of play. So this all seems, and I'm not going to read the rest because it's just really, really long. But it does seem to be almost kind of written by AI. I can't say for sure, but that's just kind of the way it reads to me. And since the announcement of the leaving of the current CEO, I don't know if it's related, but there does seem to be a correlation of sorts of the drop in stocks here. Like I said, I'm not sure that it's related 100%, but I'm sure it's a contributing factor when the guy who's been running something for so long suddenly steps away, and then you have this incoming person who knows practically nothing about games takes over. And these were some tweets that I found. Some of these were criticizing her, where she actually did say that her three favorite games, one is Halo, one is Valheim, and GoldenEye. I would like to point out that Halo is not just called Halo; it's a little longer of a title, but GoldenEye was a great game. And then here's another one. Xbox loyalists hearing Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond are retiring, and the new head of Xbox is a woman who has never held a gaming controller in her life, and whose last job was Queen of AI at Microsoft. It has never been more over. And these are some more pictures that were tweeted that were related to the incoming CEO. So, let's see. This is a little bit of her background. This is confirmed across multiple reliable sources, including her Home Depot board profile. She's listed as a new director nominee. Forbes mentions in other corporate bios. She joined Microsoft in 2024 as corporate VP and head of product for the AI platform. After roles as COO at Instacart and VP of product at Meta, supporting details include her 35 and under professional award about 2016, and a graduation timeline from University of Minnesota's Carlson School of Management, which aligned with her being in her mid-30s. Now, I don't know that her age is important, honestly. What we really care about is her background and whether or not she's actually going to do good. But it doesn't look like she's had a whole lot of, experience in software development. So, kind of take that for what it's worth. And that was really the only article that I had for that. Let me go back to my notes. And let's see. The Asha Sharma, yes, stepping in. The Xbox president, Sarah Bond, is moving out or stepping away. And like I mentioned earlier, Matt Booty has been promoted as the chief content officer. There have been no studio closures announced as of right now. So, like I said, her three main things were great games, return of Xbox, and future of play. The great games thing being to empower the studios and invest in the franchises and take some creative risks, which would be nice if we actually could see some of that, because the games that are coming out right now have not been great. The return to Xbox would be to recommit to console roots while expanding seamlessly to PC, mobile, and cloud. So as long as they're not trying to tie their whole future to the Game Pass thing, which was what they were trying to, seems like they were trying to do before, and probably almost ruined Xbox, because like I said earlier, I heard rumors that they were going to pull out of the console game entirely. And for the future of play was new models and tools, but specifically said to not flood their ecosystem with AI. So they're going to try to maintain that whole human-created games over AI. Though I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, personally, if there was bits of AI here and there to kind of alleviate some of that redundancy, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing personally. Let's see here. Media outlets have been calling it the end of an era, questioning whether she, as a non-gamer, would be able to lead a gaming platform such as Xbox, and they're calling into question Xbox's future because of that. When they announced all of this, the Xbox revenue did dip about 10%, and Game Pass growth slowed. And with all the big pushes to go to mobile and cloud, a lot of the console loyalists are worried that the consoles specifically are going to suffer as far as like the games that are coming out for them, especially with the recent big push to mobile and cloud based. So I don't expect that there's going to be an end necessarily to Xbox, as long as they stay true to at least the overall foundation that was built ahead of time, and they continue to actually put forward really good games and stop trying to slopify everything like the new Fable game. That Fable game looks like a horrendous mess, personally. Let's see. With all of the RAM prices, I don't expect that there's going to be any new consoles recently. And that was part of... Let's see. Phil said he's still around Xboxes. Let's see. Oh, he's just stepping back, so I guess he'd still be kind of involved with Xbox, but not directly. Maybe. Because the note I have here is kind of vague. And I'm sorry this is a whole mess. This is the first time I've actually done notes for a video. I really don't like doing this whole formatted notes ahead of time. I still kind of just like shooting from the hip, honestly. Anyway, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more game updates, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Later. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just so out of it today. I don't even know what's wrong with me. I should not have tried this new platform. So we'll get rid of the notes. And we'll get rid of the Xbox tags. Okay. So let's just get into games and kind of like shut off our brains. Let me put you back in the wait screen. And let me load up the game. Maybe it'll load. There we go. What the? I don't hear the game. Give me 1 second. I don't know what is going on here. Oh, my headset turned off. That's better. Okay. Okay. Actually dragons. That's cool. That's a big one.
Thrusters online.
It's not even a real dragon, it's just a giant lizard with spaceship attached to it. Press and hold left trigger to lock onto a target with assault mode. While in assault mode, left trigger, press B with a directional input to dodge. Dodge greenhouse surge attacks to trigger a perfect dodge, empowering your autocannon. The dragon can dodge up, down, left, right. Okay. Let's see. Left trigger and B. assault mode, left trigger, the dragon can dodge. B, up, down, left, right. I gotta find it better. Okay. That is good. My timing is just way off. It doesn't look like there's anything I can do here. No secrets anyway. Using your auto cannon right trigger while boosting will increase its fire rates. Definitely a short-lived situation, which is kind of a bummer. Oh, we get to pick up right where we left off, huh? Nice. Oh, we'll pick up where we left off.
Novik, the flare is en route.
Assault mode engaged.
Those ships are powering the force field around the main cathedral.
The demons conjured a barrier when we arrived. The coordinates to the artifact are inside the city.
Carriers can only be destroyed from within. To unlock a landing zone, you must destroy all of the assault batteries and a shielded main cannon. Eliminate the assault batteries will disable the shield for the main cannon. Destroying the main cannon will expose a landing zone, allowing you to board the Hellcarrier. Okay, so is that a secret that I can get to from up here? No, it's a secret I have to get to from down there inside. Alright, now we... Oof. I know I don't have enough gold to buy anything. There do appear to... I like it. It's a nice little secret.
Protect us! Protect us!
Oh, cool. Alright, I've gathered everything here. Now we go back to the shrine and maybe we can get stuff. Yes, we can. Speed up your melee charge regeneration. What's this one? Oh, Cool. That was probably a mistake, but oh well. We'll live. Maybe. Okay. Of course, blue key is required. Oh, and there's the blue key up there. Oh, this is going to be a whole thing, I can tell. There's the blue key. Okay, so I have to go through and up and around. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is actually just part of the proper way to go. Please. Give me that blue key. Whew. It always makes me feel better when I'm able to get the life sigil. Okay. Geronimo, I guess. Ooh, that was close. That was a close one.
Target destroyed. Destroying all the ships will lower the barrier and open a path inside.
Alright, let's change our weapon. Alright, this one promises to be a lot simpler. So it looks like it's going to be a similar layout, just a lot smaller this time. So. Yeah, this one's a lot shorter. I got all the resources in this level. Oh, jeez. Well, I don't know what's here, but we're gonna find out. Sweet. Nice. That was crazy. Boy, that was really crazy. I'm not mad I did it. Just mad it took me so long to do it. Okay. me see. Dispatch cultist circles. Chase and destroy 3 Hellfighter ships. Dismount the dragon at 2 secret landing zones. Cycler fires powerful plasma spikes at a moderate rate of fire as plasma weapon. Can also quickly overload energy shields to generate a damaging explosion. Cycler is the second of the plasma rifle class guns. Press X to switch between the guns in a weapon class on the fly. Okay. Okay. So that just happened. Got him. Got him. It was a little fun, but not what I was looking for. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to be. That's not where I want it. the other secret language. Sweet. Okay. Alright, so I guess the only thing to do is to do the puzzle. Wait, can I go around that way? No, I can't. Okay. Let's keep it moving, I guess. Okay, I bet this lowers the level. Red key card. Nice. All right, we moving. Wait. Oh, why? Hello there, cultists. It would be a shame if somebody kills you. Sweet. Nice. What weapon skin did we get? Okay, I guess, okay. Cool. Oh. Okay. And that's why we explore. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Alright, now all I gotta do is find one more ring of cultists. Forces are high priority targets that maintain a group of empowered demons. These empowered demons are faster, have more health, and can be quickly reinforced. Killing the enforcer will stop reinforced groups. was pretty bonkers. Didn't care for that one very much at all. Oh, super shotgun. Yes, please. Super shotgun deals devastating damage at close range. It reloads slowly and is much less effective at long range. Super shotgun is a second shotgun class guns. Press X between on the fly. Okay. Oh, I need that secret. And there's more secrets in here too. So this is just like a whole hall of secrets.
We need to evacuate!
I knew that there was a thing. Sweet, and that gets rid of all the cultists. That gives me a codex page. Okay. Alright, I do believe that is all the secret in this area. I just gotta find that one. Holy smokes. Woohoo. Nice. That is not the way you're supposed to do that, by the way, but that's the way that I did it. There seems to be something here as well. I found 7 of the 9 secrets in this game. Do what now? No! It is not what I wanted. Oh, It's 8 out of 9 secrets. So many secrets in this one area. Okay, and I got everything from this angle. Alright, so we're good to move on. That makes all secrets. That means I have found everything in this level.
Maitland, move into position.
Nice. Ooh. Yeah. I think I'd get more use out of a super shotgun, to be honest. All right. Joyous of joys.
headed to the chamber now.
Sheesh. That was quite the thing. Alright, let's move on to the next level. Oh boy. Not good.
How brave. Ignite the charges. That space station is huge. Ooh, hey, my first 100%. Nice. Alright. I think I am going to... let's see... Let's take a look at our collectibles here. Cool. Alright, and that view of the dragon is where I leave y'all tonight. I hope y'all have a good rest of your weekend. And